Today's video is going to be slightly different because I'm sick and tired of people overcomplicating funnels, because funnels are really not that hard to understand. And for that reason, I'm going to be brain dumping in this video and showing you everything that you need to build a funnel that is going to convert your traffic and get those leads to show up to the sales call ready to buy for your coaching, agency, B2B business, consulting business, whatever the case might be. Any business you run, this applies across the board. If you're wondering why you should listen to this, my name is Brilliance, and we've built funnels for over 40 different businesses, including some of the biggest businesses and names that you probably know, like John Welch, Mr. 408, Daniel Fazio, and we've helped them drive over $5 million in directly attributable revenue through these types of funnels that I'm about to break down in this video. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, first off, what you need to do is you need to create content and make ads that are contextual to the problems and the desires of your ideal customers. And what do I mean by this? Right? So remember, think about it last time when someone brought up a topic that you resonated deeply with, and the person expressed it in the exact language that you use, the exact way that you say it, then your eyes lit up like you wanted to be the only one talking, because you felt like, this person completely understood the situation that you were in. That is emotional resonance. And if you can achieve that with your ads, people are going to click your ads and they're going to buy, right? Funny how it sounds. It's like a crazy hack right there. Speak exactly how people speak and, make sure you reach emotional resonance and they're going to buy. But it really works, So some of the best ads that I've written have come from, me going back to my sales call transcripts and trying to figure out what are the points, what are the, what's the buyer persona snapshot, what are the things that they're saying, what are the objections, what are the desires, what are the dream outcomes, what are all these things. And you use this to create multiple variations of your ad, create different ad buckets and test all of those buckets and see which one is going to get. Usually it's one is getting 80% of the traffic and then the rest are sharing 20%. But once you achieve resonance, all you need to do now is to double down on that winning angle, and that way you can scale even much further and make even more money and get a fuckload richer. Now, the next thing is the landing page. A lot of people mess up their landing pages and conversion rates without knowing it, right? They say, make the landing pages ugly, design doesn't matter. You can just put, create a Google Doc with some text on it, and that's very bad advice, right? That would be true if the goal was to help you lose trust with prospects who were already pre-sold on you. But again, that's not the point, right? And that's really, really bad advice, and you should not follow that type of advice. You need to keep your landing page clean. It affects your perception in a way that you probably can't even comprehend right now, because maybe you have a shitty landing page and maybe it's convert. Maybe you're booking a couple calls from it, but think about how much your perception is affected when people that are qualified come to your landing page and they think, this looks like a scam. There's no way I'm putting in my credit card details or even putting in my email on this landing page right here on this site. I had an interview with a client today and it was the exact same thing. His positioning was really premium and everything, but his website was really, it was bad, just to be very honest. And again, it's not because he doesn't know what he's doing, but because he just didn't understand the branding side of things and how it plays into your ability to charge more. So if you make sure your branding is on point, people are going to respect you a lot more. You have a lot more brand integrity, and it's just going to help you make more money overall. So keep your landing page clean, beautiful, and 100% congruent with the ads. This is crucial. This is something that most people miss, is that when you go through their ads and you click through to the landing page, it's it's two disconnected messages. And that causes something called cognitive dissonance. And when that happens, our mind is going to find a way, our brain is going to try to resolve it. And what happens when someone is trying to resolve something? Most people do not want to think. So ideally, what they want to do is run away from the situation, which leads to a bounce. And that is not what you want. You want it to be the exact same thing that the ad is saying. You want it to be the exact thing that is translated on your landing page in the headline. That should be the first thing that they see. And a lot of people think, hey, people are going to come to my landing page and then read the entire thing. No, it rarely happens like that. People are going to come, they're going to skim, they're going to read the headline, read the eyebrow, they're going to probably click the VSL or not, scroll to the bottom, open up a few FAQs, and they're going to go back to the top and apply if this makes sense for them, right? So you need to make sure that, your headline is really dialed in. Your headline is the most important piece here. State the outcomes clearly, define the system that you use to achieve the outcome, why it's different, and then give them a clear time frame for the outcome that they are there for, right? There's a lot of nuances when it comes to the headline, but you need to make sure that it's dialed in. It's undeniably one of the most important parts, if not the most important thing on your landing page, right? And then after that, after the above the fold section, also make sure you have everything that is necessary for a prospect to book a call. Make sure that's above the fold, because some people aren't going to scroll at all, right? So I've looked at the heat maps, and about, I think 60% of people stop above the fold. So in order for you to capitalize on that traffic and make sure that you're actually maximizing all of the attention there, you need to make sure everything is above the fold. Your button is above the fold, your VSL above the fold, your headline, eyebrow, obviously above the fold. And then you can go into, the problems, benefits, your case studies, the deliverables, and the FAQs in detail. And with your FAQs, you want to do something, right? The first 3 FAQs that you have, actually, I'm going to see if I can open this up right here. The first 3 FAQs that you have on your landing page should be reiterating what the offer is about. So if you take a look at our FAQs here, you can see who are you and what exactly do you help with. Now, Alineaware, we do this, blah, blah, blah. Why is this different? We explain why this is different. Why do I need this? And the reason why we do this is very simple. It's because a lot of people aren't going to watch the VSL, right? A lot of people just came to the bottom, and you want to make sure that the point that you're trying to convey to them from the headline to the VSL, you need to make sure that it's at a very crucial touch point, which is the frequently asked questions, which is something that they are more than likely to check. If you look at heat maps and like session recordings, a lot of people check FAQs. And people really put no thought into their FAQs. They just put like basic questions and stuff that I see like, hey, what is included? And then they give some, some type of answer. But really, you have to put thought into it. Like the first 3 questions, first 4 questions should be reiterating what the offer is, who you are, why this is different, what kind of business this is suited for, and you're going to get drastically more conversions. And you can see here, right here, you can see we have our button above the fold. We can do a lot better in terms of like getting that up, but you need to make sure this on mobile, this is like completely above the fold. If we inspect this, for example, you can see what I'm saying. So if we go to iPhone 14 Pro Max, you can see this is completely above the fold. If you have to reduce your headline, reduce the headline. And we're going to get to the VSL in a second, but make sure it's above the fold. Make sure it's really easy for people to click. And when they click, you see it's full screen, and then they just book a call directly. Now, the next thing that we're going to touch on here is going to be the VSL. And it's very simple what you need to do here. You need to create a VSL that explains your offer. Your VSL should act as an extension of your landing page. And the first 60 to 180 seconds are really where you have like, your prime real estate to give your prospects that extra nudge to go book in a call with you. Because what happens is a lot of people think, people are going to watch like the entirety of the VSL, and usually this is false, right? If you take a look at, your VSL play rates, you're going to see anywhere from about, even on some of my VSLs, we have like a 16% play rate, so sometimes upwards of like 25-30% play rates. But on average, what we see is like a 30% play rate. So it makes sense that you reiterate the offer in the first 60 to 180 seconds, which is like the first minute to do. The first 1 to 3 minutes, you want to reiterate what the offer is and give them a CTA to push them to book a call with you if they have, at that point to say something like, hey, this is what we do. This is who I am. If this makes sense for you, just go ahead and click that button below and book a call with me, and we'll see if and how we can help you. But again, if you need more information, just stick to the end, and then I'm going to explain things about the offer like in more detail. You get what I'm saying? So basically, in the first 1 to 3 minutes, you want to restate the offer, explain who you are, your social proof, give them like, 1, 2, 3 case studies, and then restate what and then give them the CT again, and then, go into details about, the offer, the problems, the file solutions, and everything. All that good stuff. So that's what you really need to be doing with your VSL, because people aren't going to watch to the end. But again, you also give the respect to people who want to watch to the end and give them more information as required. Now, the next one is going to be a large button that pops up on your type form. And very quick note for VSLs, what we see now, working, especially when it comes to like B2B and B2C offers, you need to understand like VSLs are going to vary in the way you structure them, and even in the way you edit them, right? With a B2B audience, you want to stick to like very light edits, if any. And sometimes, presentations do work as well. I have a presentation VSL, and actually in the process of like recording one that is going to be a talking head VSL, somewhat similar to me looking at the camera like this. So you need to pay attention to the type of edit that you're using. If you're selling to rich people, then you don't need to do these hyper edits that are very popular, like Mr. Beast type edits. But again, those kind of edits can come into play when you're trying to sell to a B2C audience. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, don't do anything crazy in VSL. I'm just like giving an instance with a Mr. Beast. It's like extreme, obviously. But again, you want to have some entertainment plus education in your B2C VSLs. And again, it varies. There's a lot of nuance here. I'm just giving you like a helicopter overview, a broad overview of like what you should think about here. Hopefully that made sense. Now, you need a large button that is going to pop up your Typeform. This is one that I used to make a mistake of, to be honest. I used to have and again, like there's different best practices, and with funnels, there's like a lot of nuances that you need to pay attention to. So you really need to understand what your conversion mechanism is, so that you can use that to make informed decision for your company and for your ad campaign that you're running. But usually what we've seen working really well is just having a large button that is going to pop up your Typeform. Your button should be above the fold, because a lot of prospects, like I explained at the start of the video, a lot of prospects skim. They don't read through the page sequentially. So if the first 5 seconds of your ad resonates with them, they click through to the ad, they read the headline, they maybe scroll down to the FAQ, they open a few questions, they scroll to the top, and they click the button to apply to work with you. It's rarely a linear journey. And for your landing page to convert, your button should be bold and easily accessible for this to work. It needs to be easy you should remove as much friction as possible. Again, there's situations where you need to add more friction. For example, let's say, in a form where you're trying to get people to answer more questions in detail. You might get a little less leads come through, but then the leads that you're going to get come through are going to be a lot more qualified. So with your button and popping up the button, no friction. Like there's no, prove me wrong, but like I haven't seen a downside to, the button taking too long to pop up the form or the button taking too long to appear. I think it's just people who want people to watch the entire VSL. Again, I don't know what they're trying to do, and everyone has like different ways of testing things. But again, just have the button there accessible, because most people, aren't going to watch the entirety of the VSL. That's just the reality of the market in 2025 and whenever you're watching this. So number 5, use your confirmation page as a framing asset. Now, a lot of people use the confirmation page as just a reminder asset, which is, it's just a plain, like you're underutilizing your confirmation page if you're using it as just a reminder asset, right? Your confirmation page should have your confirmation video, your phone number, your email, all below the video for prospects to click and contact you directly, right? This is going to drastically improve your show rates, your close rates, because these people have a personal touch point with you that they can literally click. And also, when you're sending reminder emails and you're sending people pre-framing sequences, you're adding people to pre-framing sequences, you can also link them back to the confirmation page so that they get to consume more of this stuff. And they can also, it's very obvious on a page there that you just click to contact you. But again, it's just going to increase your overall consumption of the things that are on the confirmation page, or the content there. So add your breakout videos below the confirmation video. And these videos are going to be, videos that are going to handle specific objections in detail. So if you take a look at my cold traffic funnel right here, we are going to see what a breakout video looks like. So let's see confirmation meta right here. We're going to see look at all this. All of these right here are confirmation videos. And we could easily just say, hey, watch the video right here. And again, we're practicing what we preach. We have the number here, we have the email here, and we have the confirmation video as well. But we also have these breakout videos that answer specific questions like, how can I trust that this is going to work for my initial offer? What do you actually build? How are you different from every other company out there? What kind of business is this best suited for? What is the worst case scenario if I work with you? What if I already have a funnel that's working? How much time and effort with all of this stuff? You need to figure out what your audience is looking for and then give them the answers to all of those questions. That's what you need to do. And then you're going to redirect prospects to this page, obviously, to increase consumption of all of this material. And what this is going to do is it's going to frame your prospect, and it's going to educate them on what your offer is about and all of the details that they need to know to make an informed decision, right? A lot of people come on sales calls to ask questions, basic questions like, okay, so who are you? What do you do? But you can close this, and this is why people don't like selling to cold leads, because they think, hey, these people are too, they're not qualified, they're like way too early in the sales process. But this is wrong. They just haven't had enough consumption. When you think about an organic lead has had a massive amount of consumption. Watch tons of YouTube videos before even considering booking a call with you. Read your tweets, watch your Instagram reels, looked at your profile, everything. So they've had massive consumption. So how do we increase consumption? In our case, when we're selling to cold leads, what we need to do to increase consumption is create assets like this, like breakout videos, like pre-framing sequences, and embedding all of these, the breakout videos, embedding the confirmation page in the pre-framing sequence and the reminder sequence to increase overall consumption of your message. There is overall consumption of your value proposition and all of the questions that they have. And again, there's like you could be a lot more extensive with this in terms of like, implementing like, the credit to Jeremy Haynes. He has the Hammer Them sequence, which is going to be kind of an ad campaign that is going to, you're basically going to have objection handling videos that are going to be put in front of people who are booked calls with you. But again, that's like the more extensive stuff. But for now, we're talking about the simple stuff that you need, that you can do right now. So this is going to help your prospects do their due diligence, because they're going to do it anyway. Trust me, no prospect is going to give you money without doing their due diligence, right? People have been burned. People have gone through, really bad experiences with companies. So everyone does their due diligence, especially in 2025. So also add, your case studies and a link to your case studies document. Add more case studies, create a link, and also add in the social media handles of your clients, so that these people can go try to message them directly and ask them what the experience was. A lot of people don't do this, but that's a super pro tip for you right there. Now, number 6 is scale the unscalable, right? So when a lead opts into the funnel, don't just rely on the automation, the backend automations. I see a lot of people making this mistake of, hey, I have my backend automation set up. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to let it work for me. And everyone wants to be hands off. But the people who are winning, the scale the unscalable, triple dial and text your leads after the booking a call. Send a selfie video, introduce yourself, ask them for specific info that you'd like them to, that they like, bro. I'm fucking retarded today. Ask them for specific info that they'd like you to cover on the call or the webinar, whatever the case might be. And this is going to increase your rates, because now they feel like they are part of the process. They feel like they are, in with you, like they're planning the thing with you. So it's going to increase your rates and dramatically, improve the kind of the way the incentive is placed in their mind, if that makes sense. So, and the reason you want to triple dial your leads is because the first time you call someone, they might feel like it's some telemarketer or someone who's just spamming people. But the second time you call them, they're like, oh, this person's actually serious. And the third time, they're like, oh, maybe I have to pick this up, right? So I used to call my webinar leads, and I'll call them once and then I'll drop the phone. I'll be like, hey, they're not picking up. But then when I started calling them twice, 3 times, most of them picked up. So that's what you need to do, because everyone has their phone in their hands. And this is going to dramatically improve your show rates, improve your engagement, improve your close rates, improve everything across the board. So you need to do that. Send them a text, send a selfie video, introduce yourself, scale the unscalable. Now, the next one is lead management. This is a huge one. So with this one, it's very simple what you need to do. Just have a CRM in close, go high level, whatever the case might be, and have a CRM with the correct pipeline stages, lead, call booked, show, no show, close lost, close won. And then your leads in the booked stage should be added to the reminder and the pre-framing workflow, right? So your leads in the pre-framing sequence are going to be receiving 4 emails per day for 72 hours. And basically what you want to do in the pre-framing sequence, like I've said, I have a video explaining, going in depth about the pre-framing sequence. You need to handle specific objections, give them expectations, tell them what you're going to cover, how you operate. You want to give them all of these things, give them a roadmap so that they understand the goal of a pre-framing sequence is framing and education. It's in the name, pre-framing, right? So your email and text reminder sequence in place to make sure they don't miss the call. And then, add your no-show leads to the follow-up sequence. You should create like a follow-up sequence of 5 to 7 emails that are going to send out over the course of 5 to 7 days. And then the leads that don't close, you add them to the nurture sequence, and so on and so forth. That's what you should be doing for your CRM. Now, number 8 is simple. Close 20 to 30% of your sales calls, ideally towards 30%. 30% is the mark that you should be aiming for, especially for cold leads. But again, that varies as well. Number 9 is you need to nurture your prospects for long-term conversion. So email your leads 2 to 4 times a week. You know how we talked about the people in the lead stage and the people in the close loss stage, which is the people that we didn't close. We want to email them 2 to 4 times a week, and you want to generate 20 to 30% of your revenue off of that. And that usually depends on the niche. You could think about info coaching here when we're talking about 20 to 30%. And again, number 10, huge one. Condition your pixel. So Meta is just one big machine learning platform, and they're doing crazy stuff with AI right now. What you need to do is you need to think about Meta like this. Meta is only going to give you what you feed into it, right? When you give it a creative, it's going to spit out prospects who it thinks are fit for that creative and the landing page and all the assets on the landing page, right? So if you're running ads and letting unqualified leads hit your pixel, the Meta algorithm thinks that you want those category of prospects, and it sends you more of those people. Right? So if you have the wrong type of ads, and then it's going to bring people that it thinks are qualified for what the ad is saying, the value proposition in the ad, then it brings the wrong people. So, and again, think about your funnel from top to bottom, from the ads to the landing page and everything. Think about it like that. If all of the stats in the ad are good, then you probably need to start, looking at the landing page. That's how you attack the bottlenecks and try to figure out where you have the highest point of leverage that you can now fix to scale. Okay. So, this quickly, if Meta is sending you like people like that, this quickly is going to turn into a flywheel of unqualified leads who book a call but never convert. So what you need to do to solve this problem is have a Typeform and use Typeform logic to separate and redirect qualified and unqualified prospects to different confirmation pages. Now, the confirmation page that qualified prospects are going to hit, you want to have a pixel on that page. But the confirmation page where the unqualified prospects are going to hit, you want to have no pixel on that page whatsoever. That's what you need to do. And if you do that, what's going to happen is the only people that are going to report back to your results column in Meta under your ad campaign are going to be the qualified prospects. Now, it's slightly going to look like it's inflating your cost per call, but again, if you go back and calculate all of the calls that you've booked, you see that. And actually, it's actually calculating the good metric, which is cost per qualified call. That's what you should be looking at anyways. So, but if you want to look at your general cost per call, your average cost per call, you can just calculate with the total amount of calls that you've booked, the spend divided by the total amount of calls that you've booked in general, not just what is in the results column. So this is all I have for you, my friend, in terms of building out a full funnel. I don't like that people overcomplicate it. It's very simple to understand. It's very straightforward, and you can do this. And if you need our help building out a funnel, just click the link in the description. We've built funnels for over 40 different businesses. We've done this dozens of times. We've done this over 50 times, maybe even 100 times at this point, right? So in terms of like when you add up all the consultations and everything. So I'm more than happy to help you guys. If you need any help, just click the link in the description. Go book a call with me. I will see if and how we can help. But again, if you just want to go do this yourself, I have a course that teaches you how to do landing pages. And leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I'm going to be looking at the comments and I'm going to be answering any question that you have. And again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you got any value out of this. Share this video with someone if you think it's going to be valuable, whether it's a coach, consultant, agency owner, whatever the case might be. Just share this with them. And I will see you guys in the next video. Go watch the other videos. I might put some of them up here. But just go watch that and I'll see you. Adios, amigos.